All right, welcome. We're about to break down one of the most crucial parts of your Level 6 apprenticeship, K17, Project Change Management. You know, if you've ever felt a little fuzzy on how to actually understand it, apply it, and here's the big one, prove you've mastered it, then you are in exactly the right place.
We're going to follow a story to make this all super clear. We'll cover what K17 really is, how you actually use it, how to get the right evidence logged, and of course, how to absolutely nail your final assessment. Okay, let's dive in. So first up, let's meet our hero, Jody. And trust me, she's probably in the exact same boat as a lot of you are right now. Now, Jody is a super talented and driven apprentice over at a company called Ibis Stores. She is crushing it at her job, but there's this one knowledge area. It feels kind of like the final boss battle she has to win to pass her apprenticeship. Yep, her mission and ours today is to master K17. But it just feels a bit vague, a bit theoretical. So to really get a grip on it, she goes to her mentor, Adam, to figure out what this thing is actually all about. And Adam, because he's a great mentor, doesn't just read her a textbook definition. No, he gives Jody this really powerful analogy that helps her totally grasp the core idea of K17. He tells her to think of K17 as the guardian of the project blueprint. Now, its job isn't to stop all change. I mean, come on, change can be a good thing. Its real job is to manage change like a pro, protecting the project's original DNA. The scope, the cost, the schedule, from just spiraling into chaos. It's about making sure decisions are smart and controlled. Adam also points out something really interesting, that there are two totally different ways to look at change. As you can see, the owner, Ibis Stores in this case, is thinking big picture. Does this change help our kingdom? They care about the overall investment. But the contractor, they're laser focused on the nitty-gritty. What does our contract say about this? It's that classic push and pull, and knowing which hat you're wearing is absolutely key. And just like that, theory smacks right into reality. Jody gets the perfect chance to put all this into practice when her manager, Riddle, submits a change request for a brand new marketing campaign right in the middle of a project. This is it. This is her moment. Jody doesn't panic. She follows the procedure. Step 1, identify change is done. Riddle submitted the form. Now it's Jody's turn for the most critical step for any project controls pro, assess the impact. First thing she does is jump into the numbers. She calculates that this new campaign is going to add a direct hit of £20,000 to the project budget. And that's not a guess, that's a calculated, solid fact. Okay, next up, the timeline. She figures out that all the new work involved is going to push the project's finish line back by 3 whole weeks. That is a huge deal that the people making the decisions have to know about. And here's where she really shows her skills. Her analysis goes deeper than just money and time. Jody spots that the campaign depends on a new supplier they've never used before, which brings a totally new risk to the project's success. See, she's not just a paper pusher, she's actively protecting the project. So, Jody's done the hard work, she's been the guardian, awesome, but now she needs to prove it. This is where her coach, Olivia, steps in to help her document everything perfectly for her portfolio in APTM, the system you use to track all your progress. And Olivia makes a fantastic point here. A great portfolio isn't just a diary of what you did. Not at all. Each piece of evidence has to tell a story that screams, I know what I'm doing. So that change request form, that proves you follow the process. And the impact assessment she wrote, well, that's her showing off her analytical skills. The change log, proof of good governance. It's all about showing your understanding in action. Olivia really drives home that the written reflection is where you make your case. To get those top marks, you've got to clearly answer these 4 questions. What was the change? How did you manage it? What was the context? Were you acting for the owner or the contractor? And what was the bottom line impact? Okay, now for the final hurdle, the endpoint assessment, the EPA. This is that big professional discussion where Jody has to talk through her experience. And luckily, Adam and Olivia are there to help her get ready. So they do a mock interview to prep her. Adam hits her with one of the most common questions an assessor is going to ask about K17. Tell me how you assess and then communicate the impact of a change. And would you look at this answer? It's perfect. She doesn't just give some dry definition. She uses her real-world example about Riddle's marketing request to build her answer. She talks about cost, schedule, and risk. That well-rounded, evidence-based approach, that's what a distinction-level answer sounds like, right there. So by going on this whole journey, from being confused to actually applying the knowledge to acing the assessment,
Jody has turned a tricky apprenticeship requirement into a real, practical, and seriously valuable skill.
So, let's wrap this up. What's the takeaway for you? K17 is all about protecting those project baselines. It's about using a simple 4-step process to make smart decisions, not emotional ones. And remember, your AP Chem evidence has to prove you applied this stuff. And you always link your EPA answers back to your real experiences. The best part is, you now have everything Jody learned. You've got the knowledge, you get the process, and you know exactly what you need to do to prove it. Just like her, you are totally ready to be the guardian of the blueprint on your own projects.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? With everything you've just learned, you're not just getting ready for an assessment, you're getting ready to add real, tangible value and control to your projects, starting right now. So the only real question is, what change are you going to manage first?